So how do we live simply in an age where technology just invades every part of our lives? I think it's really challenging. I put a song in the last album called Ego, because I know that my ego tends to inflate, and usually our ego inflates when there's a difference, when there's a space between who we say we are and who we present ourselves to be. And that's been true all down through the centuries, but it's actually become a lot easier now through social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we present ourselves, what things we choose to say. We edit what we choose to say. We decide which photographs to show of ourselves. It's almost like we've become our own spin doctors, our own press officers, deciding which parts of us to present to the world, rather than actually having this honest interaction with friends. And so I fear that we might all slide into the world of celebrity neuroses, because we all know what happens with celebrities, the alcoholism, the addiction, the loneliness, the stuff that happens. That's because there is this huge gap between who they are and who they present themselves to be. But actually, we're all accelerating quite fast in that direction the more we live our lives on Facebook, on Twitter, not actually having real relationships and interacting with real people. And so for me, that's a huge challenge. And I think so, to actually live simply, we have to actually ration how much screen time we have. My wife and I are trying out this thing, we're doing a digital Sabbath. So every Sunday, we're, without negotiation, we're offline. So we can't, whenever we're tempted to check an email or we're tempted to check something on the web or we want to watch something online, we just don't do it. So the idea of a digital Sabbath. So at the minute, it's still on the day of rest, so it's a bit easier on a Sunday, but we're hoping to maybe try and transition that onto another day of the week where we'd really have to just do the discipline of not being online. Because I don't know, anybody watching this, you probably know it's very tempting to watch this for a while online and then flick over to something else, or to be walking down the street and wanting to check a score or wanting to check your email. And that actually leaves us wired to the web rather than, I would say, wired to God, living simply. Jesus' life was simple because he only tried to do what he heard his Father telling him to do. He only did what he saw the Father doing. And I fear that the more I get connected to the web, and the more constantly through a phone or through Google lenses, that I'm connected to the web, the less there's going to be space for me to be trying to connect with what God really wants me to do in any given moment. And the more I get fixated on other people who are like me, that's the problem with technology and the Facebook thing, the Twitter thing. We end up sort of coalescing around other people who are in our tribe, who are quite like us. You can find a niche of a niche of a subset of a niche. All the people who like that one type of thing, all the people who like that one character, you can find 5-10 other people like that. And especially if you live in a city or anywhere, you can find other people like you on the web. But actually, we don't learn and grow by just hanging out with the people who are like us. That's why I really believe that living simply and living in a neighborhood where there are folks from every walk of life is hugely important for actually growing as human beings.